or kayaker. Here we are at the falls on the Potomac River. And see, the boats would come down the river here from the mountains carrying coal and all sorts of things, cargo, but they'd get to this part and they couldn't go any further. I mean, they couldn't go over these falls. They couldn't go under the falls. What do you think they would do?
Join us today as we learn how the Great Falls of the Potomac River inspired people like George Washington to build canals. We'll visit the C&O National Historic Park, where Park Ranger Clyde Bell shows us the kind of locks you won't find at home. And we'll take a boat trip and find out how families with kids just like you lived and worked on the canal.
We're going on a field trip! Come on!
Pack up your juice pack, put them in your backpack. Yippee-ki, yippee-yippee-yip. Don't be slow, we're ready to go. We're leaving on a field trip. There's so much to discover, so much to do and see. Who knows what we'll uncover?
And I'm waiting patiently.
We'll take a hike, we'll ride a bike, we'll dig for dinosaurs. We'll sing a song, so come along. It's time to go explore.
Great time to relax. Oh, yeah, I like this place. Hey, look. If the river's over there, then what's this, another river?
No, this looks like a canal.
A canal is an artificial river. They are built to serve as a link between two bodies of water, or to provide a detour around rough parts of the river.
You're right, this is a canal. It's known as the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. It's one of the major engineering wonders of the 19th century.
Whose idea was it to build the canal?
Well, actually, the canal was first originally, this is the thought of a canal, was by George Washington. I guess everyone has heard of George Washington?
Now, the state of Virginia is where all this got started. In the state of Virginia, George Washington started the old Potomac Canal. Now, the old Potomac Canal, I won't tell you too much about, other than George Washington started it, his company built it, he died, then they finished it. 3 years after George Washington died. That canal got started, it was very nice, but it wasn't good enough, so they shut it down, and when they shut that canal down, they opened this one up.
George Washington had also originally planned for a canal to be built through the nation's capital city that would run right to the Capitol building.
Why do you think George Washington wanted to make a canal when those falls were there?
Because if you go through there, you'll be hitting the rocks and everything, so you build one around it so you won't have to,
Right, do you think you could actually bring a boat either upstream or downstream to those falls? So for safety and not to destroy the boat, they built what's called a little skirting canal, which went around those falls. But there was a problem with that, and that was that you could only come downstream. You couldn't go upstream. So they wanted a canal that was built that will allow upstream and downstream movement, and they built what's called the C&O Canal.
Start in the Chesapeake Bay, go to the Ohio River, near a place called Three River Stadium.
So are you saying that that's why the C&O Canal was made?
That was one of the biggest reasons, because they wanted a transportation route from Washington or the Georgetown area up towards Maryland, western Maryland, and maybe all the way up towards the Ohio Valley, which is about 300 to 400 miles from here.
Now, the B&O Railroad, they had the same idea, except they started in Baltimore. That's where they get the first part of their name, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. 1850, we quit the race. The railroad didn't quit the race. They went on and achieved all kinds of things.
How old is this place?
How old is this place? The canal was first built or started construction in 1828.
John Quincy Adams was president, and here's what I tell you about him. John Quincy Adams came to our canal, dug the first shovelful of dirt. And that doesn't seem like much to you, I know.
And so the race for the West was on. In 1828, when the B&O began laying track for the railroad, construction also started on the C&O Canal.
We were digging a canal, and certainly we could put canal boats in it. They were laying railroad track, and there wasn't a train engine in the country. And what do you think about that? They built a railroad with no train engines. Well, when I first heard that, I thought, well, that's not very smart. No, but what was smart was they built the track first, so when they bought that train engine, 3 years later, they could have something to put it on. The train engine they purchased is still around today. They call it the John Bull. If you go to the Smithsonian Museum of American History, that same train is there. That same train runs today. And that's 163 years old, and it still runs.
163.
There are other canals in this country. Were those before this one?
Well, the Erie Canal definitely was. It was about 10 to 15 years earlier than the C&O Canal. The Erie Canal was one of the more well-known canals at that time. It was also very profitable.
In 1889, the same year they had the Johnstown flood in Pennsylvania that killed all of those people, that horrible flood, we had a flood also.
And what do you think the flood did to the canal?
It damaged it.
It damaged it. The towpath where you're on right now was washed away.
What's a towpath?
The towpath was a dirt pathway or roadway which ran alongside the canal all the way from Georgetown to Cumberland, 184 miles.
This brings up a real good point in transportation. When you put something on land, it's 10 to 20 times as hard to move. What 2 mules can pull on the water, it would take 40 or 60 or 80 mules to pull on the land. It's a big difference. Water's much more profitable. That's why they went to all the trouble of building this canal.
If you want to, let's walk up on it and give you an idea what the towpath actually looks like.
Great.
Field Trip will be right back after these messages.
Just a little piece of paper. But this card from the Boys and Girls Clubs has kept millions of young people off drugs, out of gangs, and in school. Little piece of paper. It's only a little piece of paper. It tells every kid who carries it that someone cares about how they grow up and what they do with their lives. Every day, another 300 kids will join the club. That's 300 kids who will be picking up a membership card instead of a gun or a needle or a knife. It's amazing, isn't it? Even still, there are thousands more children who need our help. You know, too many people feel like they can't make a difference, but I'm telling you this. Put this card in the hands of a child, and you will change that child's life. Do that, and you can change the world. It's up to us. Support a program that works. The Boys and Girls Clubs, the positive place for kids.
Last year, we had the cleanest air in over 40 years. So the Air Quality Management District rounded up some of its most important clients who'd like to say,
Thanks. Gracias. Salamat po.
every time you carpool, ride the bus, or walk instead of drive, you're helping clean the air for California's most precious resource. Keep it up. Call for a free brochure.
We now return to Field Trip.
If we walk further up the towpath, I think we can see more of the canal and get close to where the locks are located.
Great.
How many times have you seen these guys pop up? They're your eyes and ears on Field Trip. Photographers Mark and Ron and our sound man Bill get up close and personal so that you could be part of the action. Our hike along the towpath brought us to one of the most unique features of any canal, the lock.
What is this thing with water in it?
Well, this is known as a canal lock, and this will allow a canal boat, either coming upstream or downstream, to raise up or lower depending which direction it's going. Why do they have locks?
So the water won't come through?
All right, so the water won't come through, and you got...
You can go under the bridge
All right, so you can go under the bridge
to get upstream.
to get upstream.
What do you see behind you here in that river?
Rock.
Rocks. Can a boat go through rocks?
No.
And they realized that. So in 1820s, they built what is called a canal, all the way from Georgetown, all the way to Cumberland, Maryland, about 184 miles. And during that period, there were 74 locks. They were like a step to allow you to make a very smooth ride all the way to Cumberland, Maryland.
The lock itself is actually an enclosure through which the canal flows. At each end is a pair of heavy gates that help regulate the flow of water in and out of the lock, allowing the boat to go up or down to a different section of the canal. Here's how it works.
Oh, look, here comes the boat.
Well, right now they're pulling the boat into the lock. It will come in from this side of the lock, come all the way in, And both the front boat person and the back boat person are steering with those long poles.
Are the poles only used for when they go into the locks?
Essentially, yes.
How does it keep it from crashing to...
Well, that's a good question. You see these wooden posts, they're known as snubbing posts. And with the lines wrapped around that post, it's going to slow down and actually stop the boat from going any further. And then the boat crew, or basically the lock tender who lived here, will then take those two big gates over there and he'll close those gates. Once he closes those gates, he will rush up here to these gates. And you see these little iron rods on these gates? Well, what he would do, he'll take what is called a key. It's a very large iron bar. And he'll hook that key onto those iron bars and push it. And that would open up little paddles at the base of the lock.
The paddles are actually little doors in the gates that open and close to let water in and out of the lock.
So when you open up the gate down below, allow all that water to flow in, the water raises up, and then you have equal pressure on this side of the gate and on the other side of the gate, which means then you can open up the paddle, or rather the gate, very easily.
Could we try that?
Yeah, we'll bring in the boat right now and show you how it's brought into a lock and how it operates. In fact, if we go on the other side of the canal, we'll probably get a better view of the boat coming in, and then we can have some of you folks help us open up these gates.
Great.
You can see how big that is.
Great.
Why don't you come this way? Hey, Jeff. Bring it in. Bring it in. Very good. That wasn't so difficult, was it?
No.
That's because the water level is equal from the inside and the outside of the canal. The lock. And
Would it be hard if this one would be higher and this one would be lower?
Yeah, it'd be impossible. You could not open the gate if either one was higher than the other.
How long does it take for the thing to rise?
It takes about 7 minutes, and we'll
You can
be
actually
doing
see it
that very
rising.
shortly.
Yeah, you can actually see it rising now. Right?
So let's go up here. You can see what one of our boat people are going to open up the paddles and let the water in. Now, if you notice, the boat is already coming up. And someone asked me, how long does it take for the boat to rise? It normally takes between 5 and 7 minutes by the time you bring it into the lock to raise it up before you can move back out of the lock again. So it actually moves pretty quickly. And with that gate we already closed behind us, water has no place to go, so it just raises up. So it's coming right on up. Now you see the boat's pretty much level with the top of the lock.
How deep is the canal?
How deep is the canal? Canal water itself is about 6 foot deep.
That's all.
That's all it is. And actually, you're only raising up about 7 foot here. But each level is on the average about 7 foot rise. The entire length elevation of the canal is over 600 feet rise from Georgetown up to Cumberland.
But how about the boat was like too wide or something?
No, they were not too wide. They were within about 6 inches of fitting right into the canal lock. They were under a certain dimension, like 100. They're like 90 feet long, and
90 feet long.
90 feet long, and the lock is 100 feet long. So you had about 10 feet to play with, and they had about 3-4 inches on each side.
How many times have you changed the wood, like once?
I probably on the average about every 8 to 10 years.
Do they ever rust?
Gates, a combination being wood and metal, would deteriorate over the years, and you would have to replace these gates along with the rods.
When you raise the water in the gate here, there's still the same amount of water on the other side. So wouldn't it be just the same amount hard to open the gates still?
Well, in fact, we can open up one gate right here, and we'll show you how easy it is to open up this gate. Okay, you guys ready? Push! Is it hard? Yeah. See how easy it is. And you got level water on each side, it's level. It's equal.
Yeah.
Makes it very easy to push open the gate.
And nobody fell in. Good job. You guys want to take a ride on the barge?
Yeah! Field Trip will be right back after these messages.
Welcome to Jack in the Box. May I take your order?
Yeah, is Jack there?
Just a moment.
This is Jack.
Mr. Box? Yeah, I'm really, really hungry. I was wondering what I should get.
How much you got?
About $1.
I'd go for 2 tacos for 99 cents. They'll fill you up, and they're really good.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Please pull up to the window.
Giant Cerritos Ford's 16th annual tent sale clearance is underway. Now get financing as low as 3.9% or factory rebates up to $2,000. Check out these Cerritos Ford values. 96 Escorts with air from $89.90. 96 Rangers from $95.90. The all-new 97 F-150 from $13,990. 96 Aerostars with automatic and air from $14,990. 96 Windstars with automatic and air from $16,990. That's Cerritos Ford. 605 Freeway, South Street exit, Cerritos.
And now back to field trip.
We had walked the towpath and operated the lock. Finally, the time had come to experience the canal from aboard a packet or passenger boat, just like those that traveled the C&O Canal over 100 years ago.
Oh, they're coming out. They're coming out. It's coming out. It looks like, you know, it's the best.
Welcome to the Chesapeake and Ohio National Historical Park. My name is Dave. I'm a park ranger here, as are all the crew members. We're just dressed like this because we're depicting the year 1876. Yeah. You know what propels this boat?
Muscle. Water. Muscle.
Mules.
Long stick.
Mules. Enthusiasm propels this boat. So let's hear some enthusiasm. You guys want to go on this trip?
Yeah!
Well, that tells the lockkeeper, get up and get ready because we're coming through.
Casting off.
Just a little way up the canal, we came to the lock.
But let me tell you one thing before we get too close into the lock. Once we're inside the lock, the water's so loud that I sit down and be quiet because you can't hear me anyway. But once the boat goes in the lock, these big wooden doors on both sides and inset in the walls with the steel poles going through them, those doors shut behind us, and they dump in 500,000 gallons of water. When the lockkeeper dumps in 500,000 gallons of water, what do you think happens to the boat? That's right, the boat rises up 8 feet. These are the gates that shut behind us. You'll see the steel poles that go through them. Underwater, there are paddles that let the water in or they let the water out.
This is sort of like a trap, you know, the door's closed. Oh no, we're rising! We're rising!
We're still rising up the last foot.
Once through the lock, our interpreter began to tell us about life on the canal.
100 years ago, there's a lock family that lived there. The lockkeeper, his wife, and all of his children, they ran this lock and the next one down 24 hours a day. In the old days, it was really something. You could walk into that tavern 150 years ago, you'd sit down at one of the tables and they would bring you whatever they're serving that day. You didn't get a menu, and you didn't get to choose. We talk about choice and all kinds of things today. Well, there was no choice. Hopefully you liked what they brought to you, or you probably wouldn't pay for it and you probably wouldn't eat it. But they served good food so they could attract a lot of customers. And you know how much a good meal would cost 120 years ago?
5 cents.
Oh, more than that, about 15 cents. I know the prices might have changed over the years, but in the 1870s, that was a fair price. You could get a big chicken dinner. That was a fair price.
For only 15
Now, up on the
cents?
second floor, it's a little more interesting. On the second story, there was a hotel. Now, today, it's hardly big enough to be called a hotel, but when they built this tavern back in the 1830s, it was big enough. And here's the type of hotel it was. It was called an ordinary. And what an ordinary means, or what that word means, is you don't get your own room. You share a room, and you probably share a bed. The canal never made much money. The boat people did. The boatmen made money. The lock tenders made money. but the canal company never made much money. We had spent $14.5 million and hardly hauled anything. When we got to Cumberland, we could haul coal.
A reason why the canal was built was to connect with the coal fields up in Pennsylvania and Upper Maryland.
There's not many people on this boat who wouldn't have worked on the boat if their parents had one.
A family would generally operate a boat. So you have the father, the mother, and the children. You folks are probably old enough right now to operate or assist in the operation of the boat. Particularly the boys and even the girls would lead the mules.
Here's the way it worked. Dad was on the boat. He took the older children. Here's who the older children were. Those big enough to work. Dad would come wake you up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
How early would they start working the barge in the morning?
Some folks will work 24 hours a day right around the clock, but most people probably start when sun rose up, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they work right on through 7, 8 o'clock that evening.
You get up, clean the mules, you put these collars on the mules, and then put all the rest of the tack, that's the leather stuff that these mules are wearing, you would put all the rest of that on them, and even in 3rd grade, you'd get out there by yourself, and they'd walk the mules.
Generally, a boat would have 4 mules. 2 of the mules would actually be pulling the barge. The other 2 mules would be on the barge, resting.
Now let's talk a little bit about the living arrangements on the boats. Now if there's a 12 by 12 foot cabin, this is the back of the boat now because we changed directions. If there's a 12 by 12 foot cabin for people to live in the back, who do you suppose lives in the other cabin up front? No, not the captain. The mules is right. Now the tin whistle was a popular instrument on the canal. Here's why it was popular. It was cheap. Same reason it's popular with me, because it was cheap. Now singing was the most popular, your voice was the most popular instrument, but the penny whistle was second. I'll play you a tune from the Civil War 130 years ago. In fact, I'll play you a tune that if you came on one of these canal boats back in the 1860s, you'd hear this song. See if you recognize it.
Trip will be right back after these messages.
The best money can buy for a lot less money. It's Stroud's clearance. Markdowns now as much as 65% below Stroud's everyday low prices.
One car polish proved that it can take the heat. New Finish. How much punishment can just one application take? It all started with a weather-beaten car. First, New Finish restored a showroom shine with no rubbing, no buffing. Then we let the hood broil in the scorching desert sun for 20 days and baked it under highly reflective mirrors that intensified the sun's rays 6 times. Is the New Finish finished? No way. After 52 heavy-duty commercial car washes, water still beads. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish.
New Finish, rated #1 by Consumer Magazines. Available at Chief Auto, Save-On, Track Auto, Kmart, Thrifty Drug and Payless, Vons, Target, and Pep Boys.
And now back to Field Trip.
So what have you guys been drawing?
Well, we've been drawing things that we most liked in our field trip.
What did you like most of all?
I liked the waterfall with this big branch sticking over it.
Yeah, the waterfall was pretty neat, wasn't it?
I like the mules because I found out that they pulled the barges all by themselves most of the time, and they switched and they rode the barge when the other two were pulling.
I'm drawing the Great Falls. And what I really liked about them was the way, you know, how they always come down into each other. It's like everyone always connects onto each other and then goes into something else. Like there are lots of rivers just connecting straight onto it.
How about you?
Well, I'm drawing Ranger Bill.
Yeah, what did he talk about?
Well, he talked about mostly about the canal and how it was brought up and how we do stuff in the canal. So I'm drawing Ranger Bell, and I like him because, you know, we have someone here. We always know that we have somewhere to keep the park clean.
I like the waterfalls because I like the crashing noise they made.
Yeah, good sound effects, huh? And you have another picture back there, don't you?
Yeah, and I also like this one too, so it's good to draw. This is the lock, and I like the lock because it's very interesting how the boats roll through it. And that's why I like it, and the boats did roll through it.
Well, I think it was pretty fun coming here and seeing how the locks worked and going and looking at the falls. I want to thank you, Ranger Bell, for taking us around today. We had a good time.
Well, it's been my pleasure, and I had a great time, too. I hope you learn a little bit today, because I know I'll learn a little bit talking with you.
If you'd like to learn more about canals and life along the C&O Canal, here's a few reading suggestions. The Chesapeake and Ohio Canal Official National Park Handbook by the National Park Service. When Horses Pulled Boats, a story of early canals by Alvin F. Harlow. And Potomac Journey by Richard L. Stanton.
If you have a place you'd like us to visit, write us at this address. And next time we'll see you on a field trip!
What could make your weekend visit to Las Vegas even better? Low weekend rates at Excalibur. Stay on the hottest corner of the fabulous Las Vegas Strip this weekend for only $34.50 per person, and next weekend for $41.50 per person. Call now for a room fit for a king at a price anyone can afford. These are weekend rates, Friday and Saturday. Phone 1-800-643-9909. Excalibur. It will take your breath away.
The boys are back for another week of excitement. Steve, Chang, Edward, the Jensens. Be at UCLA as the top aces of tennis compete in the 1996 Infinity Open. Presented by United Airlines. Hosted by One Day AccuView. The action begins July 29th at the LA Tennis Center. Buy tickets now at any Ticketmaster location or call 310-825-2101 to charge by phone. The 1996 Infinity Open. Brought to you in part by KCBS TV and your local Infinity retailer.
Hey, you want a new car? You want a new truck? You want low payments? Well, listen to this. I'll buy your trade-in, pay you cash for your trade-in, put the money in your pocket, and I'll put you in this brand new 97 Ford Escort for $139 a month, or this 97 Ford F-150 pickup for $195 a month, or this 96 Ford Explorer for just $239 a month. It's Worthington Ford in Claremont. We're on the 10 freeway at Indian Hill exit, and Worthington Ford in Long Beach. We're on the San Diego freeway at the Bellflower Boulevard exit. Both locations open till midnight.
So it's really great to be here tonight, except I got this pounding headache.
The all-Michelin tire sale at Winston Tires, because nails weren't meant to be funny.
Your sister said the Accord is the #1 retail selling car in America.
I'm going to wait, you said. Your uncle said 3 Accord models were each named a best overall value in their class. I'm in no rush, you said. Then you made your move, the Honda 96 clearance. Your mother said, he's definitely got my brains. Timing is everything at your Honda dealer.
Now, Channel 2 Action News is making it easier to catch up with your world with LA's only hour-long 6 p.m. newscast. 7 days a week, see news from around the world and around the corner on CBS Evening News at 5:30 and Action News at 6.
A one-of-a-kind cab ride on the next hard copy.